What's up, YouTube? ODST General back again. I just got pretty far in this video. I noticed that my frames were really bad, so I'm restarting over real quick here. The frames might go up again. It seems that for whatever reason, even though there's not a whole lot going on in what I'm going to show you guys here, it seems to be causing some frame rate drops and stuff, along with OBS, which is kind of resource intensive slightly. Recording program. I know a lot of people don't like to use it because of that, but I like the options, so we're going to go with it. But as you guys can see, we are in the Enterprise D, if you guys are familiar with Star Trek The Next Generation. You know, this is a show I grew up with, and it's probably my favorite Star Trek, easily. But yeah, this is a really awesome Unreal 4 engine recreation of the ship. Another big YouTuber, Captain Shaq from XPG Gamers, has shown this off, and that's actually how I found out about this particular one. There is another one that was out there that was being worked on that, as far as I know, just basically got left in the dust and never got finished. So we're going to go ahead and pick this one up and go with this. This is designed for VR, but we're just running this as a standard run-through here. Nothing too special or crazy. The ship is populated by random AI. They need some work, to be sure. Costumes aren't quite right, stuff like that. But bear in mind, this is still a work in progress. There's things that you're going to see in here that are probably going to get changed in the future or just aren't working properly right now. So we're going to stick with the bridge here first. I want to show you some different versions of the bridge, and then we're going to go ahead and explore the rest of the ship. So the bridge can be altered from this game tab here. There's a few different options we have, so we're going to animate LCARs. That might actually increase it quite a bit. Yeah, we're going to have to skip animating LCARs, unfortunately. For some reason, animating the LCARs just shot up my CPU like crazy, so I guess that was probably part of the problem I experienced. But we have different ship alert statuses. As far as I can tell, yellow alert doesn't actually do anything. But red alert will actually darken the ship, or at least the bridge. It turns on the warning lights. It seems to actually affect the other ship levels too, as far as the red lights go. The rest of the ship doesn't darken like the bridge, though. And as you can see, the alarm shuts off. That's really cool. Definitely sets the mood for battle here. So if we go up to the bridge, up to the station here for security, you can see we've got the option to fire torpedoes. We activate it by pressing enter and then clicking it. Not very good. Oh, hey. I see. I actually didn't do that last time. Like, I couldn't figure out how to actually fire the torpedoes. Fantastic. Okay. Well, the Cardassians aren't going to be too happy with us, but that's okay. At any rate. Yeah, so you go up here, you press enter on the console, you'll get this, and then you just hold down your left click and it'll fire that. I don't know if it'll fire another one. It will, in fact, fire another one. I don't know what will happen with the second one. It re-explodes it even further. That's a lot more devastating than it is in the show. Okay, so this is the seasons 2 through 7 bridge. So this is the one that was used for most of the show. Basically from the second season to the end of the show, after the ship had a refit. This is the emergency turbo lift. In the original bridge, it's the turbo lift to the battle bridge, and there's a guy in here doing Gangnam Style. Still funny. If we go off the bridge here, we've got the captain's ready room. We've got another captain in here, as well as another lieutenant, counselor, medical officer. Obviously, Deanna Troi is who that's supposed to be. We've got the Stargazer, the captain's picture of the Enterprise. And then, in the back of the bridge, we've got the OBS lounge, maybe, if this gentleman will let us through. It's definitely, AI are definitely a problem in this, because you can't get by them. Sometimes they'll just stand there and block the way. That is the... I might just have to show it off to you guys later, but that would be the room where they do briefings and stuff, where they all sit around that kind of curved square table. And then there's also some personnel files. Oh, never mind, he's going to move for us. Okay. So I can show it off to you guys. There's a couple officers sitting in here. Got some paintings. One thing that is missing, and I thought it was supposed to be in this room, was where all you had the different versions of the Enterprise all mounted on the wall. Oh, and because I don't have animated LCARs, you're not going to be able to see this, but in this room, if you have animated LCARs turned on, there's different crew files that would be up on the screen. And then we gotta keep our eye out for these ships on different assignments, because there's a lot of like secret jokes and stuff in here. Like the USS Mooney, it's the Englishman class, and its current mission is the Enterprise D main bridge, October 2014. So not 100% sure what that's an in-joke to, but it's kind of funny just to see stuff like that. There's also some Star Wars references, or at least one Star Wars reference snuck in here. But let's go ahead and check out the different versions of the bridge. So we're going to go ahead and just go back to normal alert status, and we're going to go to the Season 1 bridge here. I don't think any of these other bridges, yeah, as far as I know, they don't actually change the alert status if we do it. This is the Season 1 version. None of the other versions of the bridge actually have any crew populations. You can't go anywhere else on the ship because we don't really see the ship interior for most of them. The only one's Season 1, but it's pretty much the same as Season 2 through 7. But pretty much everything's the same on this version. You can see we've got the placard that has all the credits for the show creators like Gene Roddenberry and Rick Berman. It's definitely pretty neat. I don't think this will work on this version. Yeah, so the consoles and stuff aren't interactive here either. But if you do go up to the chairs on any version, including the other version, you can go up to a chair, press enter, and you'll sit down in that chair. So if you're playing this in VR and you want to play the captain, just go and sit in the captain's chair. You can do that. Up next is my favorite Enterprise bridge, which is yesterday's Enterprise. This is from an alternate reality where the Federation's at war with the Klingons. The two of them never made peace. This has a lot of throwbacks to like the movie series, like Wrath of Khan and stuff. You've got these red railings here. Or it's also pretty similar to the Battle Bridge, which we'll check out a little bit later. It feels a little bit more confined than the other bridges too. This feels a little bit lower since it's on the same level as the Captain. The one thing I don't get about this design is this is supposed to be like a warship design, which I guess is why it's got more compact. It's got these railings to hang on to. Stairs. How easy is it to trip over stairs if you're getting hit by torpedoes and stuff? Wouldn't you want that sloped ramps? Like, aren't you going to be less likely to trip or fall in that situation? Beyond that, the ship's a lot darker. We've got some sensor readouts here. This is them trying to find the Romulans from one of the Star Trek episodes. Cloaked Romulan fleet. Here we can see these Federation ships surrounded by Klingons. Got some sensor damage, we've got some Enterprise damage analysis, all sorts of stuff. Definitely my favorite bridge though. I like how it's kind of dark and gloomy it is. It's just really cool. Up next is the All Good Things. This one's fairly different too. Not quite as different as the yesterday's Enterprise. This is a future version of the ship. Some changes cosmetics wise, but the biggest changes come in the color scheme again. This one's a kind of red standard color, red carpeting here around the center crew stuff. They get rid of the consoles, but they kind of add this plating here as well as that big center console on like the tactical station, and then a center console up here. I haven't really looked up close to any of this stuff here, but as far as I know, there's no Easter eggs in this section, but there could be. I mean, there's a lot of text. I haven't looked at everything. And last bridge is the Generations version. This one's got some major changes to the bridge along the sides here, where this is kind of lifted up. They've got this little platform section going up here and these extra seats. This is definitely a more cinematic version of the bridge from the movie. But coloring and stuff is fairly similar, so it's not too big of a departure. Well, we're going to go ahead and go back to Season 2 through 7. We're going to hit the turbo lift here and go check out the rest of the ship. Turbo lift's easy to control. You've got decks 1 through 36. Not all decks are available, of course. Destinations available on those locations are listed here. So we're going to go ahead and head to deck 2. That's got Data's quarters, Worf's quarters, cargo rooms, escape pods, etc. There's crew lounges scattered throughout the ship. We're going to check out one of these escape pods. So this is something you never get to see inside the show, but it lights up automatically when you come in. Lights turn on. It's pretty neat. Now the crew lounge is up ahead here, but I don't want to miss Data's and Worf's quarters. Of course, then again, somebody's just going to stand in front of the door. So let's do this. Where's that crew quarter here? So crew lounge. You know, once again, as far as I can tell, most of the stuff's not animated or does anything. There is one more joke in here for sure, which is the USS Thomas Paine New Orleans class is on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan. Like I said, though, there's probably more that I haven't seen, or I just didn't get the jokes. But yeah, this is kind of like 10 Forward, and there's several of these scattered throughout the ship of varying sizes with different windows and stuff. Let's see if that person moved. So they did. So let's go into Lieutenant Worf's quarters, or Lieutenant Commander Worf's quarters in this case. You got Worf's trophy for his Bat'leth tournament. Bat'leth, the painting from the same episode as that tournament, which is Parallels, where he jumps from alternate reality to alternate reality. He's got somebody tossing and turning on his bed. A number of other paintings and weapons and stuff. Very, very good recreation of Worf's quarters. If we go down, Data's quarters are actually just going to be right down the hall. I believe it's this one right here. Yep, Lieutenant Commander Data. He's got his Sherlock Holmes pipe, some art I'm not too familiar with. He's got a hologram of Lieutenant Yashatar. Yar. I said Tar. It's got his personal computer, which is supposed to be way faster than the rest of the ship. And one thing I'm kind of disappointed about, at least, is there's nothing yet. There's no references to Spot, his cat. You know, you just need Spot inside the quarters. There's a lot of throwbacks to him during the show, so they need something here. Anyways, this level wraps around, but there isn't really anything else to show off to you guys. Oh, you know what? There was one last thing. I forgot about the cargo room. That one at the end is bugged. There's two of them on this level. One right as you come off the turbo lift on the right side. And for whatever reason, the cargo always launches, and there's always a lot of crew going in there. And there's this one in the back where there's one crew member controlling the transporters for it, or the force fields to it, but this one doesn't get as populated, and it doesn't go crazy. But yeah, these are these cargo transporters. You always hear them talking about using the cargo rooms to transport people onto the ship. That's what these are here. And then there's force fields. That's what these are, is force field generators to put a force field up around it. Well, let's go ahead and go back. There's nothing down that hallway, just more escape pods. So I'm going to go ahead and head back down. But I do love this hallway. This really reminds me of a game, and Captain Shack mentioned this too. It's Star Trek Voyager Elite Force for the PlayStation 2 and PC. And that was just such a fantastic game. It's probably my favorite thing from Star Trek is that just you get to wander around the ship for some of the game, and you just get to see crew working, kind of going about their standard business. I forgot what was on this deck. What would we have? Deck 6. This is midships. This is transport rooms and Science Lab 12. You just get to see crew working on the ship. You know, there's one scene where the ship's getting attacked and blowing up, and you have to like rescue crew and go through it, and that's just really cool stuff. This is transport room 2, and I'm gonna be blocked in by this person. Yeah, they really need to do something to fix that. Transporter room 1. This is Chief O'Brien's favorite transporter room. And the ship goes around. There's force fields thrown up in various places to stop you from getting around the ship, because there's a lot of it that's just not anything. I mean, there's obviously a lot of doors here that already don't do anything, but I guess it just keeps you from going too far. Somewhere around here there's a science lab. That's transporter rooms 3 and 4. Same thing as the transporter rooms 1 and 2. Power systems. Not sure where the lab is right offhand. It's really easy to get turned around this crew lounge. So here's the science lab. I can't remember for sure if you see this on the show. I want to say that there was there's this one science officer that Captain Picard kind of had a relationship with, and I believe there's a scene that's held in here. Some of these spots you only see like once in the show during like the 7-season run, and then they never use the sets again, or only a couple times. So you're gonna have to forgive me for not knowing every location, even though I've watched the show a bunch of times. Let's go to Deck 7 Arboretum. This is one of those locations that you only see like once or twice during the show, and I know one time was like Deanna Troi kind of talking about when she was a young kid, or she was talking to her mom or something. So this is a pretty small room. This basically you go around the hall, there's nothing there. The only thing on this level is the Arboretum, which is actually a really nice area. I mean, this is... Yeah, see, some people just get pushed out of the way. Just, you know, kind of long grass type of park deal. Just kind of nice, slightly darker lighting, some running water, just very peaceful stuff. Looks like you got a slight breeze going, generated from somewhere in the ship. Who knows where? That's graded over there, so maybe over there. And then just, for some reason, consoles. I guess that controls maybe like environmental controls or something for the Arboretum. Who knows? So let's go ahead and go to Deck 8, which is the Battle Bridge and Picard's quarters. Some of these, when you have like multiple things on decks, some of them you can walk from one spot to the next, and some of them you can't. Sometimes it's blocked off. I think the Battle Bridge is one thing where it's blocked off, even though it's the same level as Picard's quarters. You can't get from one to the other. So this is, like I said, this one is kind of similar to the yesterday's Enterprise Bridge that they had. You've got those same red railings that were pretty popular during the movie era stuff. The more confined stuff, you got those really steep steps. They only use this a couple times. They used this when they saucer separated the ship, and yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. A little bit darker bridge. You know, when they went down here, you knew there was business going down. Things were really serious whenever they really used it. The handful of times they did use it, felt like the stakes were high pretty much both of those times. Kind of interesting, I didn't really notice this before, is they've got like a emergency ready room, I guess. So if you saucer separate the ship, you know, whoever's in charge of that portion of the ship, which I guess would probably be the captain, and then the first officer would probably take the saucer section. You know, the captain can be in there, or the first officer, whoever did take control. Let's go ahead and we're going to go over to Picard's quarters. So this is another deck. There's not a whole lot going on here. Picard's quarters is the only thing, and for some reason he's got two doors into his quarters, one here and one there. You know, once again, the captain NPC and the counselor NPC together. This guy's little flute thing from that alternate life he lived. It almost looks like a bust of George Washington? That can't be right. I've never noticed the bust in his apartment, but that doesn't seem like something he would have in there. I'd imagine he would probably have something like William Shakespeare or something. Eggs I Have Laid. Godfather family album. So here's some more interesting kind of jokes and stuff. Winnie the Pooh. There you go. Captain Picard has a Winnie the Pooh book. There's a whole bunch of crew just walking through Captain Picard's quarters. There's the bed he's been disturbed from a few times by Q and stuff like that. But yeah, something that's not a very good force field right there. Something I'm pretty excited for coming up is Star Trek Online. They're going to be having Geordi LaForge come back and reprising his role as, well, having LeVar Burton come back and reprise his role as Geordi LaForge, as well as adding a full interior Enterprise or Galaxy class bridge based off the Enterprise Ds 2 through 7. I can't talk all of a sudden here. Gosh, there's so much crew on this level. Can't get anywhere. I forgot to see what was on this level here. I think it was maybe stellar cartography. Given the layout of this, I want to say that's probably what it was. Stellar cartography is something you never saw during the TV show, as far as I can recall. You did see it during the Generations movie when they're trying to find out about the Nexus, and they're tracking it, going, you know, across through all the systems. They mention it. This one feels a little bit more scaled down in comparison to that. Maybe that's just the way I'm remembering it, but you know, this seems kind of like a poor design. What happens if you fall down there? I mean, that wouldn't work out good. I guess that's another time you use those emergency transporters, right? Pretty neat, though. It's definitely a lot cooler in the movies. It feels a lot bigger in scale. Yeah. And let's head back to the turbo lift because there's nothing else on this deck except for a lot of crew. So deck 10. This one is the computer core and 10 forward. Now, I might take the turbo lift to 10 forward. We can actually reach 10 forward from here, from the computer core. It does take a little bit to get there, but we might do it just to show off some more of the ship to you guys. We've got these little side rooms here. This actually feels like a much bigger area of the ship because there's a lot of different places you can go into. Not exactly sure what all this stuff is. Obviously, this is probably like the isolinear chips and stuff that control the computer core. All these little side rooms are probably different areas for the computer core itself, with a lot of redundancies and backups. Because there's 4 of these rooms in each of these segments here. And this goes over here. I wouldn't be surprised. That door's closed, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the ship layout or something there was more of those rooms behind that door too. And then down here is, of course, the same thing. So there's another 4 rooms there, with access here and here, which I guess is probably just for those ladders that you can climb up and down in the ship. So we've got a bunch of computer controls down here. I think you see this one in like the Lower Decks episode. I can't remember for sure. I know not all of this is stuff you see, like these staircases. You never see stairs in the show at all. It's kind of an interesting concept or idea, stairs in here. That doesn't look very correct. I don't know. Some more force fields blocking our way. And as far as I know, none of these other doors or side paths open. There's some more force fields down this way. More crew walking around. And I think this is the turbo lift that you can actually... Oh, no, you can't. Yeah, this one's just nowhere. It's actually even clear on the other side. So I think down here by 10-4, there's also a crew lounge you can take. Or go to. So, yeah, we're only actually part of the way there. So I'm assuming that there will probably be an actual turbo lift added later on, because some of these turbo lift doors actually do open for you, even though there's nothing down there by them. So I'm assuming that we'll be able to actually do that. There's another turbo lift door that opens, so I don't know. We'll see. 10 forward storage. So of course we have the infamous 10 forward. This is really cool as if they had somebody like Guinan or just like a civilian behind there. I'm kind of confused about how 10 forward works, because the Enterprise is essentially, it's a military ship, kind of. You know, I use the term military loosely because Starfleet's not technically a military organization, but 10 forward was always run by civilians. There was never Starfleet personnel, even though it's aboard the Enterprise. So I don't know if it's just something where it's like, okay, well, we're gonna take this space on the Enterprise just to serve people drinks. I mean, how does that work? You know, again, on DS9, there's actually people like renting the shops and stuff, or paying to like stay in the shops aboard DS9 like work. But how does that work on a starship where it's like there's a bar and then we just choose civilian bartenders? I mean, it's not like assignment from Starfleet personnel. But I mean, Data could just go back behind the bar and just serve drinks. But you always had like Guinan, or you had some like random bartenders and stuff that work there. Here we've got another crew lounge. This one's got some more of those ship assignments. I think this one also has that diplomatic mission Alderaan. It certainly does. Nobody in most of these crew lounges, especially if you're going to be right next to 10 forward. I guess you'd probably go to 10 forward instead of the crew lounge. See if I can find this other... Yeah, here's a second crew lounge. So there's 2 crew lounges and then 10 forward. I think they would just connect those two. Oh, that doesn't go anywhere. It's a good thing we didn't take another step forward. Not sure where that other turbo lift is. There should be one very close to here. But you might need to actually take the turbo lift down. I'm actually wondering about that because I could swear the turbo lift was the one right over here. Nope. Well, now I'm completely lost because it just spawns you in some random spot on the ship. That might be a problem. I think I just got spawned into a hallway that I can't get out of. Yeah, I got spawned down one of the other side hallways. Can we try this again? Maybe not get spawned down this hallway. Crap. Okay. Plan 2. So I think we're going to have to go ahead and restart this again. So as you can see, traveling around can be dangerous. Don't fall off the ship on that level. It's good advice. So that was deck 10. Let's go ahead and head to deck 12. That's sickbay and the hollow decks. I do believe these two are separated as well. So sickbay was kind of hard for me to find if I recall correctly, or I almost walked right by it. Oh yeah, see? It's just, it blends in there, you're sitting there looking for it, and it ends up being like right behind you. You've got bio beds, you've got some guy doing some sort of scan here, some colored gels. And, you know, like I said, I haven't tried to interact with everything in here, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's interactable stuff I'm just missing. We've got somebody designed to look like, you know, Dr. Crusher, Dr. Crusher's lab, some sort of medical readouts or data. Sickbay supply. HMO office. That's the direct door into her office, or at least it would be if you get in there. There's a bunch of aid stations. So I guess the aid stations are kind of like first aid stations, just scattered throughout the ship, because if you can't make it to, you know, can't make it to sickbay, or sickbay's full up, you know, what are you going to do? So let's go ahead, head to the holodecks. There's nothing too fancy here to see with these holodecks. Unfortunately, I was really hoping that there would be some kind of Easter egg, like you could interact with the holodeck and something would happen, but that is not the case. So we'll just kind of peek in here. Nothing special though. And there's a few of these scattered down this hallway, so I think there's 4 of them. Yep, 4 holodecks. These other doors don't open up. It's just a straight shot down through the holodecks. Nothing special yet. Shuttle bay and the brig. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save those for last, I'm thinking here. So we're actually going to go ahead, skip over to deck 25 to the nacelle control room. Then we'll go check out engineering. We're going to go check out the shuttle bay last. So nacelle control is kind of cool. You've got the Jeffries tube, and then you've got the I'm not sure what this is, the up and down. I don't think that's called the Jeffries tube as well. It's just like basically like a manual access ladder. If the turbo lifts are out, or you just are not close to a turbo lift and you need to do maintenance, you can go up that way. Jeffries tube here. I need to actually change something real quick, guys. I do apologize about that. We're gonna go ahead and just poke our head in here. Yeah, you know, unconscious crew member in there. Just they're taking a nap. I guess it would be kind of hard to find somebody taking a nap in there. And then you got the nacelle control room. I'm trying to remember if you ever actually see this in the show. I feel like you do see this room, but I can't remember where or when. And then you've got this room, which I guess would probably get you into the nacelle kind of thing. And these are supposed to be some sort of security device, but I can't imagine that, like, how that would work. This is pretty cool. You get to see, like, this will open up and you get to see a window into the nacelle. You've got some sort of, like, electrical charge going from here to here. And then the whole nacelle is pretty much empty. But that's really awesome looking. There's this guy just slamming on his console for some reason. Not much else to see in this room, though. Nothing too crazy. And deck 36, which is main engineering. Let's see here. So you've got a bunch of engineers down here kind of arguing with each other. This is the, like, main ship statistics or readouts here. It's got the you know, ship layouts, breakdown, the cross sections, all that stuff. Then you've got some more information here on the ship. Then you've got this, of course, the warp core. You've got the dilithium chamber. I think it's an antimatter matrix is what that is. You've got the elevators that go up and down on the ship. And then you've got, like, the chief engineer's kind of office, I guess. And you got this little section back here. They never show that in the show. I guess there was probably a hallway there in the show that you just don't really see. Probably just went off the set, of course. But yeah, this is just like the little station for kind of monitoring the warp core. Jordy was usually over here at this console, but sometimes you'd see him in there. And another turbo lift. So that leaves us for our final thing, if we can get in this turbo lift here, which we can, which is the shuttle bay 2 and the brig. So right as you come out the turbo lift, you've got the brig here. This is why I think these are security devices, is because they're just right there. There's red lights on them. They look like hand scanners. Some sort of science officer is in there. He did something stupid, I guess. And of course we've got our security officer just kind of sitting here watching the prisoner. But really, look at this. Which of these guys really has it worse? I mean, sure, he gets to switch out shift, I guess, go home and do his thing, but he's got a comfortable bed he's laying on. You just gotta sit here staring at this guy all day. And nothing down here. So the last shop, I can't talk, it is so late, I just gotta quit talking. The last stop is the shuttle bay. So there's of course cargo and stuff scattered throughout. We've got a Type 7 or Type 8 shuttle. I can't remember which is I'm going to say it's a Type 8 shuttle. Probably, this was for the longest time my favorite shuttle class. I think I like the Delta Flyer a little bit more. Type 9 is okay, but this one just holds a special place in my heart. Gosh, I'm just done talking. There's a couple controls in here as far as we can interact with. So we can open the shuttle bay door. And we can deactivate the force field.
Shuttle bay force field activated.
So I don't know. I guess I can walk out the force fields. You can breathe in space, but we've already established that anyways. And that just, I guess, it despawns, which looks awful. But actually, now that I think about it, where does that door go when it opens? There isn't anywhere for it to go. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the shell here. Check it out. There's some supplies here. There's a remote saucer separation, which I'm kind of curious about because it doesn't actually seem to do anything, but it beeps. So I'm kind of wondering if they're planning to do something with that later on. We've got the shuttle here. We've got the cockpit of it, including cameras and stuff. So let's go ahead. And well, you know, we can actually get in the shuttle and we can control it. And we are now outside the Enterprise, as you can tell. Now there is stuff for pitch and yaw, but nope, we're gonna run into that. That's close. As far as I can tell, oh, hey, saucer separation does work. Well, the last time I clicked that, it didn't do anything. That's pretty neat. Okay. Kind of curious how the turbo list will work with that separated like that. The station's pretty small, actually, but let's go check out the debris. Oh, yeah, the debris is actually all running into the Enterprise's hull now. I don't think it's getting any further away from the rest of the ship. Yeah, the ship's not moving. Yeah, this is really neat that you get to actually fly around the shuttle. You know, when I saw Captain Jack playing this, he couldn't figure out how to get it open, but I had a feeling it was that control console, so when I downloaded it, I had to go check it out myself. I was like, there's no way they're going to let you fly around in the shuttle and then just, like, prohibit you to the, just to the shuttle bay. That wouldn't make any sense. Unfortunately, no Easter eggs that I could find out here. There's nothing hidden on the space station, nothing hidden on the, or behind the planet or anything like that. Which is a really tiny planet, by the way, especially if it's supposed to be Jupiter, which it appears to be. It's a little bit wonky. Oh. Not 100% sure how to actually fully shut this thing off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and deactivate that force field because obviously we know we can breathe in space.
Shuttle bay force field deactivated.
It's kind of neat. It sucks everything out of the shuttle bay. This is going to be killing my frames, guys. I'm sorry. I know this is probably going to look really bad for you. My CPU is starting to get maxed out from all the stuff that's gotten spawned in here. This does seem really poorly optimized. And we're gonna go ahead. My frames are dead now, but we're pretty much done. I just want to check one last thing before I wrap up this video. We're gonna try to go to the bridge. And it's, well, it cleared everything up at least when it despawned all those rooms. You were able to turbo lift to the separated bridge section, that makes sense. And look, all that stuff's back over there. It's funny. Anyways, what do you guys think of this? It's pretty neat. You know, as a big fan of the show, I do love these recreations. This makes me really want something like Star Trek Bridge Crew, or something where you can actually roam around the ship, you know, in VR or not, even just something like this, but something a little bit better optimized than this. You know, the graphics are pretty nice on the whole ship, and it's nice to see something with graphics as decent as this, as long as the people were improved, because like I said, the people definitely need improvement. The uniforms are wrong, just the models aren't very good looking. But that would be really cool to be able to like hop in here and actually like take control of these consoles and stuff. It's something I've been waiting for a while, because there's been a couple of games that have come pretty close to it, just nothing's quite hit the spot perfectly. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is a little bit longer than I thought it would have taken, but I had a lot of fun with it. Have fun checking out the ship. So you guys go ahead and take it easy.